It's Devall, the Eagle Homes team, and Caldwell Baker. We're here at our office on the corner of
Milwaukee and North Pine Street, Mr.
Perfect.
Vince. And
Thank
I'm
you.
Brad Brewer, as always, like Vince said, part of the Eagle Homes team here at Caldwell Baker Realty, and we are on the Eagles Nest podcast,
Yeah.
broadcasting on various Facebook pages live, and we'll tell you later about where we're going to be on YouTube, as we always are.
Yeah.
So,
Love it. So, what are we talking about today, Brad?
today we're going to take a little bit of probably not a full review, but a review of 2024 real estate in Racine, Milwaukee, Kenosha, Walworth, and I'm missing one, Waukesha County.
Waukesha.
Kind of the, as far as our Wisconsin group, we of course, Vince, along with several other agents, are licensed in Northern Illinois. We could probably bring that to you here in the next few weeks.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely. I love it.
Maybe I'll step aside since I don't know anything about Illinois. I'm only
It's a totally different beast. I'm not gonna. I mean, you've heard horror stories.
totally different beast. So we're gonna take in some interesting stats comparing 2023 to 2024. It's always a good thing to kind of do a year over year, like how did the market shift, change, inventory, pricing, all that kind of stuff. So actually, it's kind of a good segue. I said pricing, wasn't it?
Brad, let me ask you a fun little question. How many transactions did you do last year? How many people, families did you help either buy a home, sell a home, invest in a home?
Last year, I ended at right about 2021.
Okay. I was the same. I think I was 22. But fun little stat I saw on Inman. Inman is a real estate platform that, we get a lot of our news and, it's sourced pretty well. 78.1% of agents did 0 transactions last year.
That's a bigger number than I would have expected. I know historically that number, well, it's not just 0, but that's really high for 0, I think.
Yeah.
But usually it's
0 to 1.
They'll give it like 4 transactions or
Yeah.
less, or 2 transactions or less, which essentially are part-time agents that are doing it. That number is usually around 60. That's usually around 60-70%. The number that did 0 last year, that is crazy high.
Oh, and what they said is there's 1.5 million agents registered that are licensed.
Yeah, that's been about I think they capped.
That's across the US, right?
I think capping point's been around 2 million, but yeah, usually nationwide, the number's always around. There's about 1.5 million active agents. Active just means your license is active. You're paying your association dues, which means you're an active agent looking to assist your clients in purchasing residential, commercial, or whatever.
Yeah. So let's jump in. Let's start with the median sold price. It's an essential metric for understanding what the market is doing year over year. So, in Racine County, we saw a 14.1% increase in median sold price, rising from $250,700 in December of 2023 to $286,100 in December of 2024. Now, that's an impressive jump.
That is actually a really impressive jump. And Racine County was Wisconsin as a whole. I'll go ahead and wait till we list I won't wait till we list the other counties. Wisconsin as a whole was about 6% appreciation last year.
Okay.
So Racine County was definitely ahead of that curve. The Racine County was actually numbers for the state, comparison. That's what the state was seeing in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
Or even part of 2020. So that's actually very impressive for Racine County. I think there's some factors that we could go into if we really dove into it. Part of it is it was the Foxconn development, but now the Microsoft development that's coming in definitely is going to be a factor in that.
Yeah.
Moving on to Kenosha County, I mean, it's right next door, a little higher than the state average, but still 7.1% increase in home prices, climbing from 270,000 to up to just short of 290,000. So, and Kenosha County typically does, price point wise, typically is a little tick above Racine County. I think historically.
But I think you're right. I think these larger businesses coming to Racine are driving some of those prices a little bit. Now, Waukesha County also experienced some growth. They had 5.8% increase from the previous year, but they were just under 425,000 to just under 450,000. So, you know, we're talking about a $25,000 swing from, you know, 2023 to end of 2024.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, as you get more out into the countries, typically there's some variances there, like, you get more land involved with your sale.
Right.
Whereas when you're in the cities, it's, quarter acre or less lots a lot of times, stuff like that. So there's a land factor that definitely comes into play here. Walworth County, another getting out more rural, also showed not as high as we're seeing in Kenosha, but just right at basically the state average, 5.9%, so right there at the 6% mark. And their average was about 345,000 from the year before, up to about 365,000, almost 366,000. So another, again, a nice increase.
Yeah, 20,000. Now, finally, let's jump into Milwaukee County. The median sold price there jumped 8.2%.
Yeah.
Once again, the second highest from the ones that we've just talked about. But it jumped from 244,000, almost 245,000 to almost 265,000. Now, yes, the price of homes are a little less up there. There are some pockets that homes are a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And you're getting to the outskirts of the city. So
absolutely. So again, these numbers are just a highlight of kind of the upward trend you're seeing across. Again, obviously this is the areas that we predominantly work as our team. We could serve the highlight and go across, but like I said, Wisconsin, I don't know what the average total sale price. If I've looked in the past, it's typically mirrors like your Walworth and Waukesha County as far as average price point.
Yeah.
But you get a little bit better value up north. Again, there's typically more land involved. So it's everything kind of fell in line there, right about where the state averages are, except for that's very impressive growth we're seeing.
Yeah, that is.
So another thing we're going to look at now, of course, is the next topic.
Yeah, let's talk inventory.
Inventory levels. That's been a huge area of concern.
It's been interesting.
That's really what drove, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about this later, a little bit later in our podcast here about, what type of market are you, buyer's market, are you seller's market? Definitely these inventory levels are keeping things a seller's market, not as extreme seller's market.
Right,
and
right.
We'll explain that in a second, but let's start with some numbers.
Yeah, Racine County. So it's, we start about Racine County and their increase in prices. Now, they've also increased a significant drop in inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So 15.8% drop in inventory from November to December of 2024, leaving only 512 homes on the market. Now, why is that key? Less homes drives more competition, drives higher prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, in comparison to one of the counties, and for some reason we could not get some stats. I'll tell you right away, we could not get the Kenosha County stats for some reason. I just don't know if they're not ready, and we really didn't have good stats on Milwaukee. Hopefully, we can get those out in a little time, or maybe by the time this podcast hits our YouTube channel, we'll definitely at least try and release the numbers. But Waukesha County, one of our other counties, an even steeper decline in inventory, dropping of 21.8%. That's definitely a decrease of leaving only 874 homes available. So after we get this other county, I definitely kind of want to take a
see where it's at in a whole.
Yeah, brief dive into what probably made the biggest factor into that.
Now, Walworth County inventory also decreased 6.6%, totally 450 homes in December that were available. So when we see homes, and I truly think what we need is we need more, condos, townhome style houses that, we could get more buyers in at a reasonable price.
We definitely
or smaller single family homes.
We definitely need to increase the first time home buyer price.
Yeah.
I think the first time home buyer price point right now is getting at a difficult level, I think, where people are having to save longer. I saw an interesting stat. Now this is nationwide. And I didn't know it was this high before, but about 5 years ago, the average age of a first time home buyer was 35 years old. I would have thought it would have been somewhere in the 20s. I think if we go back probably 10 years before prices really kicked up, I bet it was probably in the high 20s. Right now, last year, the average age for a first-time home buyer, take a guess. I don't want to see what we get it.
36.
You're actually not bad. 38.
I actually saw this. I saw that. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I knew it was mid-30s. Okay. I was kind of surprised.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, first of all, I didn't think we got to that level that people were having to wait into their 30s.
Yeah.
As early as 2020, but that does make sense That's really when things really hit sellers market. Prices were, those years, of course, were hitting that 20% plus in appreciation in some markets. So it definitely makes sense. And that's really, what I was gonna say, dive deeper into it, is that's what drives it. Like you said, it's price.
Yeah.
It's when the prices jump up like that, that creates that seller's market. The other big factor is interest rates.
Right.
You know, there's sellers that, you know, like, oh, well, they're sitting on that 2.5–3% interest rate. And now they're, quite frankly, interest rates have hit norms. I mean, we're in norms. 5 to 7% is gonna be norms for years to come. You know, people are like, well, why do I need to move? You know, do I really need to move? Can I continue to drive that extra 20–30 minutes to work so I can keep my great rate? So it's a lot of, you know, it's just a lot of factors that drove people to maybe sit on their homes a little further, which also causes
I agree.
that downtrend.
Yeah, and I think people ask me today, a lot of people are like, well, why would someone sell? Why does someone have to buy? I mean, we talk about this quite a bit. It's I usually only come up with 6 Ds, but I think there's 7, but it's, you know, divorce, diapers, diplomas, downsizing, death.
I'm waiting to see if you can get 7, guys. I'm listening to the 7th one myself. I'm like, can I fill
I
it?
mean, there's marriage. What do you call that? De-Christianing?
I shouldn't. I'm not gonna say it was in my head. I would get in trouble. I love you, man.
Gosh, what was a diploma? I can't remember. But there are reasons that people are buying and selling today. And the reasons they're giving up that 2 to 3%. In part of it too, I think a big part of it I see right now is downsizing.
Yes.
You know, I'm working with some Illinois sellers that are looking to move to Wisconsin for, tax purposes.
Yep.
Let's be honest. But they're in a 4,000 square foot house. They're going to a 1,500 square foot condo, right? Like it's that downsized part of it. The problem now is that they have a generational house that they're selling. They don't have that starter. So that's what we need more people. And people are living longer, honestly, right? Like,
yeah, they do.
People are living longer, therefore, inventory. We're not creating enough inventory today.
A lot of factors that we haven't touched on that factor into what causes these different shifts in the market, right? Inventory levels and things like that. So,
let's shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go to days on market. Now, Racine County obviously was our highest one, and we're gonna change that a little bit, by the way. I don't think that's too spot on, but Racine County, it was the one that had the highest movement, and actually days on market. So when we talk days on market, we're talking about the time that it is marketable.
Yeah, we got a typer in our thing here. Actually, I pulled this. Racine County, I believe, was about 75 days.
Okay.
So I pulled this stat for somebody. I was doing research on somebody looking to maybe sell.
Yeah.
Here in Racine County, and I believe it's which makes sense because it's closer to Walworth County,
Yeah.
Which is our other stat we have. So
now, days on market are the time that we put it on the market. Some people do it as the time that it goes under contract. Some people do it as the time that it's actually passing over the keys. So it kind of there's no rhyme or reason to how agents put the information into the system.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, but 75 days, probably about pretty close for Racine County.
And real quickly, Walworth County is 90 days, and I do think that makes sense. When inventory was really, really low, like we're talking a quarter of those 400, 800 numbers that we talked about beforehand. You saw, like, I've never seen on average under 30 very often in my career. Actually, that's probably all, but again, back around 2021, you were seeing that low. So we have gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we look at comparisons to 2020, is our inventory levels up? Probably a little bit. Also, sellers are still trying to get those home run numbers. And again, we see our appreciation numbers have calmed down as well. So stuff all kind of ties into days on market.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it overall, I think the variable really with days on market is indicating a difference in pricing strategies and demand for certain types of homes. Now, like we could talk about pricing strategies and marketing strategies, later on down the road, but a lot of that has to do with, pricing your home right,
So
which leads us into the next
Yeah.
chapter.
sale to list price dynamics, and this is a huge thing that we like to talk about with our clients. Because we were talking about those days on market numbers. So for example, in Racine County, 55% of homes are now being sold below asking price, 19% at asking, and 26% are still going above ask. And we're definitely seeing success, I know on our team, where price to list and how that strategy works with your clients. Like I'm telling clients right now, our team, if we all agree on the right price, meaning we all, meaning us and our seller, our team is averaging 11 days on market.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's actually really impressive.
That's really good.
That's really jumping below, but that's having that's just putting on the market that right number.
Yeah.
Not starting to where you think the right number might be and searching for it. Because the stat before you get to the other counties, that 26%, if you priced a little low, not crazy low, just a little low, you still have a great chance of getting, over that
above
number.
ask price, right? Now, and I'll tell you that the overall average of list price to sold price
Mhm.
is about 98%. So, when we say 55% of the homes sold below ask price, it might have been, if it was listed at 300,000, they might have got 299 for it, right?
Right.
So don't get discouraged when we say 55% of homes sold below ask price, because the true relation is list price to ask price, or I'm sorry, list price to sold price. That's the true relation. Now, Waukesha County had 44% of their homes selling below ask price, 20% at ask price,
Yep.
and then 36 above ask price. Now, that means they're just probably doing a little better job at dictating what that list price is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's, again, just smart pricing is huge. It really can help you, along with then, if you're gonna flirt with that little higher number, this is a great meeting to have with us one-on-one if you're looking to sell, or you're, any other agent on our team, which we should always choose Eagle Homes, right?
I think
I'm
so.
plugging Eagle Homes this morning, sorry, but, yeah, that's where you have that pricing strategy conversation really in tune with your client, and talk about the risks of these various pricing points. I know Vince is a big fan of the 3 or 4 pricing options. I'm a big fan of the 3 pricing options, but anyway.
Depending on your situation, yeah.
Yeah, all these are really close to Walworth County, the final county we have the stat on this for is 54% sold below ask. And again, like Vince kind of alluded to as well, it's not, are they going crazy below ask? Some, yeah, again,
Yeah.
it's pricing strategy. And the days on, I can tell you the days on markets for 90 days started way too high. So, 54% below, 17 at, or really it's just under 18% at asking, and almost 28% above asking. So again, those above askings are definitely there.
Well, yeah, and this data shows that while many buyers are still negotiating, a significant portion are still paying at or above the list price, reflecting strong competition in the market today.
Absolutely. There's definitely plenty of multiple offer situations going on. I've heard from people in the street just kind of saying to me, "Oh, that's probably not happening much anymore." No, it really, it obviously is.
It is. It depends. I know our team just got one of her buyers 14 offers, $30,000 over list price, and they were putting, I think, 50% down.
Yeah.
Their offer won. They didn't think there's a chance in heck that they were afraid that there was a cash offer out there that was waiving all inspections. They had inspections, they had contingencies, they were financing, but they had to go over list price to make that happen. Exactly. So it's still happening. And this is what I would call our first time home buyer price point, 300,000.
Absolutely. Yeah. So our next segment really ties into the sale to list price dynamics.
Yeah.
And that's then, all right, we kind of referenced earlier, the market classification. Are we a buyer's market? Are we a seller's market? Are we kind of like middle of the road? What are we? Well, right now, all 3 counties that we just referenced, Racine, Waukesha, and Walworth, will definitely still be classified as seller's markets.
Yeah.
You've got situations where you've got those higher percentages still going over ask. I mean, why go over ask unless you've got multiple offers? that means I think we're still definitely in a seller's market. But not that extreme seller's market, which after Vince talks here, we'll kind of go into what is the difference?
Yeah, a seller's market means high demand and limited supply, which benefits sellers and can make it very tough for buyers today. So, it's definitely, and that we're still seeing it. It's based on price point. We talk about location, condition, dictate the price. And if we have a good location, we have great conditions, we're going to get a competitive price point.
And do you think there's what I said extreme, but there's healthy sellers markets, and the extreme sellers markets I don't think are super healthy necessarily.
No.
And why do you think? What would you think would be the difference between?
Well, I think an extreme market is one that people are paying well over list price.
Yep.
They're putting in appraisal gap contingencies. They're waiving inspections. That is extreme. Like, what you don't know, you can't foresee what's going to happen in a year now. And let's say you pay $30,000 over the price, the appraised price. You put an appraisal gap in there, and you pay $30,000 over. Now, what happens if you lose your job, have a death, you get divorced, all of a sudden need to relocate, right? Like, you're putting that gap at risk.
That's why I like the word extreme on that.
Yeah.
Like the way Vince just said that, you are making some very extreme, potentially some financially dangerous decisions. I mean, financially dangerous, not doing a home inspection. I can see it. I talk to clients like condos. Okay, is there lower risk?
Yeah.
Because the external part's usually part of the association cost. Not always. You got to ask those questions. Sometimes windows are. Sometimes the windows are on the seller. I was just in one last week where windows, like 6 or 7 window seals were popped, and we looked. It was on the buyer, or it was on the owner.
It's on the owner, yeah.
So
yeah.
Definitely things to consider with market classifications. I would say right now we're definitely still a seller's market, including the counties we did mention, Milwaukee County, Kenosha County. Definitely, I would still call them sellers markets. I bet the stats are very, very similar to these.
I believe, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
We're just not extreme. Sellers market's okay. I think sellers markets are healthy. Now, when do you think we switch back to a buyer's market?
Until we get more inventory. I don't know when that will happen. It's hard to say. Inventory is driving this. We obviously see interest rates at what they're at.
Yep.
We obviously see people are still out there buying. They're putting more money down. They're buying down their rates, whatever it might be. They're still buying homes right now.
I'm glad you mentioned buy rates, because I've had some people reach out to me and say, should I wait for rates to come down? And I said, no, because the fact of the matter is, if you want, whatever your purpose is, again, things we consult on to buy that home, I know you didn't coin the phrase, but Vince says it all the time. Buy the house, date the rates.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there's things you can do to buy down rates. There will be a time when the rates will get down. No, forget about 3-4%.
Not happening.
I mean, we're going to live in a 5 to 7% world. And quite frankly, if we stay around 6, that is definitely what I would call, if you look at historical trends, 20 years out, 50 years out, normal.
What's funny is everyone complains about this 6% interest rate. And out of all the homeowners out there, the number one debt in the US is credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee our credit card debt is 19 to 24% interest rate. If you're not paying your credit card off every month, stop complaining about 6% on home ownership. So
exactly. So, all right.
Where you gain equity.
Yeah,
equity.
Exactly. Either way, you're gaining equity. So yeah, the rate may hurt for a while. And yes, we love rates to be, honestly, 3% rates aren't healthy for the economy. I think if we got down to the 4s, sure. Would I love that again? That would be awesome. So Vince is going to shut our door, by the way, while I start the next segment. But don't you guys love that segue? Live broadcast. All the fun stuff. Anyway, next thing. Price change by bedroom count. This is definitely one of the factors that there's a lot of different things. And I always tell people, first of all, breaking down the bedroom count, Racine County, by the way, saw the largest jump of 5+ bedroom homes with 21.6% rise in median price. So what that's saying is your bedroom count does jump your home, but when we compare these other ones, you see not, they all don't, going from 4 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms is a big jump. Necessarily going from 2 or 3 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms isn't as big of a jump.
Sure, gotcha. Yeah. So Waukesha County had a 4-bedroom home, saw a 6.5% increase.
So
Now, that also keep in mind, like we're talking about square footage. Like we can't take 1,000 square foot home and put 4 bedrooms in it very easily, but we could take a 1,000 square foot home and put 1 or 2 bedrooms home in it easily. So
Absolutely.
keeping square footage in mind as well.
yeah, that's why I always say when, especially in markets like this and people are buying what they still feel is a seller's market, higher rates. I really like to take a look at a home and say, where can I add the value?
Yeah.
Where can I increase it? And I said, if you got an unfinished basement, you can finish it. Is it worth as much as the main level? No. I've got a customer now, he's going to buy a home this week. He's going to add on to the main level. He's actually gonna add on to the home. And for the time period he's gonna own the home, which is he's planning on many, many years. I'm like, I think this is a safe number based
Yeah.
on your purchase price, how much square footage you're adding, and what that's gonna change, because one of the things he's adding, he's gonna go from a 3 bedroom to a 4 bedroom.
Okay.
I said, I think this is a good value.
Yeah.
So, so definitely things that help increase. Let's go ahead and jump on the next segment. We're looking at monthly changes in homes sold. So looking at the trends for Racine County, 25.2% decrease in homes sold from November to December of the same year.
Yeah.
Now that, I will say, I'm not a big fan of comparing those months.
No.
Because you're going from November, other than right at the end of the month what Thanksgiving is, I would consider that a holiday month. We are, and we're not into real winter. There's a lot going on in December, which means
Less people want to move. Less people.
correct.
Those that are doing it in December, either their lease is up, they're getting divorced, they're downsizing diapers, whatever it might be, and
Right.
their hands being forced a little bit. Now, Waukesha County experienced a 26.4% decline.
Yeah.
While Walworth County only saw a 12.6. So it's pretty impressive that Walworth didn't see as big of a dip as the other counties.
The basis behind this portion here is when we're talking about monthly changes is I get a question a lot. When's the best time to sell? I get from buyers, when's this next time to buy? I tell people all the time, I can give you tell me 1 month or what time of year, I'm gonna give you positives, I'm gonna give you negatives.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We did a podcast not too long ago where we broke down like spring, summer, fall,
Right.
winter, right?
Right.
And there's positives and negatives to that, and that's a whole different story. So if you're looking for that podcast, I'm sure it's on our YouTube channel. But yeah, it's now monthly changes in home sold. What about affordability? I was thinking affordability. Let's talk about that for a quick minute. In Milwaukee, house prices increased 8% over the past year, raising concerns about affordability for a lot of residents.
Absolutely. This is something we should definitely keep a close eye on. And it's one of those things that probably majorly impacts first time home buyers.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm watching heavily right now because I think it's our biggest lack right now, and the biggest thing that even up to, obviously Trump won the election, he's our new president. Both candidates between him and VP Harris, they both had first time home buyer plans.
Yep.
That's just something that's being looked at all the way up from state and local government, all the way up to federal government, is addressing first-time home buyer affordability and options.
And keep in mind, like affordability doesn't mean you need to put 20% down.
Right.
Affordability means it's got to be something that is a good mortgage payment for you. Talk to your banks, talk to your real estate agent, find programs that give. There's a ton of different programs out there where you get first-time home buyer credits. They'll help you buy down a rate for the first couple of years, things like that. So look at different ways to make it affordable for yourself. Yeah. So finally, a quick note on the industrial market. Yeah. In Walworth County, the industrial real estate market remained resilient in Q3 of 2024. Now, with low vacancy rates and a steady demand. So it's pretty interesting that we're still seeing that in the industrial market.
So what does that mean, and why mention it? I think one of the things when it happened during COVID, and, 2021 years after, you saw that huge, massive, influx of people working from home. So you had a lot of office buildings and things like that
Right.
that started sitting empty, things that housed people. But one thing that never really dropped was where you have production, because people can't produce things, obviously, so you still had to have the factories, you had to have the warehouses. Another big thing is shipping, distribution, like the Amazons. So what you saw, and I think what you see in Walworth County with the status, buildings getting repurposed.
Yeah.
And there's still that need of, you can't do everything virtual.
Right.
There's positives to getting together
Yep.
in person as much as. So I think that's what that's saying is, though there was changes between repurposing and how things can be used and still that need. I mean, you've seen with the federal government, they're pulling a lot of workers back in now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so in summary, the Wisconsin real estate market has been dynamic with rising prices, shrinking inventory, and just very competitive conditions.
Yeah, so obviously, whether you're going to buy, sell, both, this is a great example of how our whole team at Eagle Homes really takes everyone as a one-by-one consultation. And I take pride in this. I have told people, like, hey, this is not the best time to maybe buy for you. This is not the best time to sell. And we strategize about that, and we come up with a plan. I've got a lot of people I've already said, I don't think this is your year. Let's wait and see what next year looks like, or at least later this year.
Yeah.
It really comes down to, so definitely, reach out, schedule that one-on-one consult, and then we can kind of make a plan with you. Just like your financial advisor plans how you're
Right.
gonna retire, right?
Exactly.
We do the
Yep.
same thing for homes.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. Vince Devall with the Eagle Homes team here on the Eagles Nest podcast, powered by Caldwell Banker Realty.
I'm Brad Brewer. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.